Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me again today. We will be continuing to focus on specific skills related to self compassion and how to be able to engage in mindfulness activities and other simple tips and tools to just make your day a little bit better as you focus on taking care of yourself so you can better take care of those around you. But before we get into that, I wanted to take a moment to just kind of share again a little bit of a reflection of why this is so important. I can't remember if I mentioned it in my first podcast in regards to kind of my own experience, but currently I supervise a children's team. And if you work with children, you know sometimes that can be very rewarding, but can also be extremely draining. And not always because of the kids themselves or the issues that they're dealing with, but because of the systems around these kids, whether it's the family, other teams, if they're in child services, the situations with that, or even just the mental health system itself, and how it doesn't always do the best kind of work and care for our clients. There were lots of opportunities this week for myself working with a couple clients directly, as well as kind of reviewing some situations with staff and supervision, or when they came to me in situations with crisis. And we had a lot of crises this week. I don't know. There's something in the water this week going on around here. We had to all stop and wonder if there was a full moon going on. There was just so much kind of chaos happening within a couple of days. But, again, taking that opportunity to debrief after those moments, whether it's a crisis or something that just feels like you're beating your head against the wall, trying to make sure that your member receives the best care that they can, when you feel like the system has failed them, or when you're dealing with situations that are completely out of your control, when you know that you are doing your best work, but you're still watching your client, especially a child client, suffer because you can't get everyone else on board of what is best for this kiddo. And how do we take care of ourselves in those moments? And what do we need to make sure that we do so that we don't burn out from these times that just are heartbreaking in some moments, or that make us angry because we see what's happening and there's nothing that we can do about it other than maybe continue to advocate for change within the system itself. But until that happens, we're unfortunately have our hands tied. That is so frustrating and it's so tiring. And then you get to a Friday and you're just like, I'm done with the week. And you feel completely drained. And some of that happens even when you are taking those moments to take care of yourself. So, again, that's why it's really important to take time throughout your day, every single day, to take care of you so you are best able to manage the stress that exists within this work. So, even though as I'm doing this podcast today, I'm actually working on it on a Friday night so I can get it out to you on a Saturday, I'm exhausted and I'm still drained from what happened yesterday and a couple other incidents today. But I took the time for myself and I made sure that my staff took the time for themselves as well. And in fact, I'll share with you, this is something that I posted yesterday after a particularly, I don't even know what to call it. That's how bad it was. But one of those sessions that just really leave you questioning why you're doing what you're doing. And afterwards, I had to break out the ice pack because I had developed such a horrible tension headache, kind of dealing with someone who was in crisis at that moment and going from screaming and yelling and banging and throwing things around my office as I was trying to de-escalate them, to getting them to the point where they de-escalated but crashed and immediately burst into tears, and me wanting to cry right along with them because I felt everything that they were feeling. And I understood all the frustrations that they were dealing with, and knowing that their hands are tied and my hands are tied for them, that the only thing I could do was offer compassion and support in that ear and helping them to understand what they could do to take care of themselves the best that they are able to do. And after that ice pack, it was also just the nerves that had built up within my body and just the typical kind of physical sensations that were going along with it, that the fidget toys in my office got a lot of workout as I was trying to come back down and get myself regulated after a pretty intensive session going on within that. Having to offer those same things to my staff throughout the week, or just telling them, go take a break, your notes can wait. You need to take care of you. Go eat something. Because again, we often put others first before ourselves. So now that that is out of the way, let's take a moment to look at the very simple things that we can do every single day to show compassion to ourselves. And we may not even necessarily recognize this being a compassionate movement towards ourselves, but it truly is, because we're putting ourselves first. We're doing the little things that make us feel good and relaxed and calm, or whatever you want to call it, throughout our entire day. And these are all things that don't take a lot of time or effort, and they don't take, having to stop what you're doing and think about something else. They're just little simple things that you can keep going as your day continues. The first off is just listening to music. Now, music has the ability to impact your mood, motivate you, and help you concentrate. So, if you want to make music a part of your day, when do you have those times to be able to just kind of flip it on and have it playing in your office and have it kind of in the background noise, doing it while you're working on your notes, doing it while you're taking a little bit of a break and maybe just shut your door and close your eyes for a minute. But you can actually make it into a mindful practice. So choose a new space for this practice and take a few deep breaths and just tune into your mood. Ask yourself what genre of music, particular artist, or song would help refresh you in this moment. Listen to the first song intentionally. Try to feel the music. Notice how the sound impacts your breath and your body sensations. Listen to the rhythm, detecting the different textures and tones. And at the end of the song, take a breath and sense how you feel. Cue another song or a playlist that reflects your mood and continue with your day. Also, make sure that you're taking time to fuel your brain. We work hard to stay on top of every project, every deadline, and the 100 other things that demand our attention. Unfortunately, some days that mental chaos can lead to us to neglect our bodies, which is in turn a disservice to our brain. So, choosing to snack on brain boosting foods that nourish rather than hijack our brain can help combat brain fog, fatigue, and that afternoon slump. So, during your next meal or snack break, seek out foods that are nutrient dense. Reach for nourishing treats like berries, almonds, cashews, walnuts, avocados, apples dipped in nut butter, or baby carrots dipped in hummus. But find those, opportunities when you're going to snack during the day to do so with something that nourishes you and that's healthy for you. And as we're talking about nourishing ourselves, we also have to consider, what are we doing to hydrate throughout our day? So, taking time to slow down and devoting your full attention to making and enjoying your favorite beverage, work appropriate beverage. Now we're talking about, you can enjoy your favorite beverage after work. And this can really truly be an exercise in mindfulness and bring a great sense of satisfaction and joy. So, make your favorite beverage and find a comfortable spot where you can feel at ease to enjoy it. Before you take a sip, spend a few moments taking in the color and the smell of your drink. Feel the warmth or the coolness of the cup or mug in your hand, and slowly sip and notice the feeling as it enters your mouth, the taste and the sensation of ingesting the drink. Focus your attention on the experience at hand for a small moment of mindfulness, and consider creating space in your day, week, or month for this special sort of ritual. And I know for most of you, when you thought of that favorite drink, or excuse me, work appropriate drink, your mind probably jumped immediately to coffee or some sort of caffeinated beverage. I think we're all really guilty of hitting that caffeine. But we also need to make sure that we stop, drop, and hydrate as well. So taking that moment to stop and drop whatever we're doing and getting ourselves a glass of water. Often during the workday, we get busy and forget to hydrate. Drinking water has a positive impact on brain function, and it's essential for delivering nutrients to the brain and flushing out toxins, which in turn ensures better concentration and mental alertness. Water keeps brain cells active and helps regulate stress and anxiety. And as I'm sure we all know, we want to aim for 8-ounce glasses of water per day, plus an additional 8 ounces for every caffeinated or alcoholic beverage you consume in the day. So if you're the one like me that has that caffeine sitting on your desk all day long, calculate how much more water that you need to kind of consume to flush that out of your system. Get into the habit of carrying and refilling a reusable water bottle. Or bored of basic water, add lemon or cucumber to your next glass. Don't forget about sparkling water or even herbal tea. Either one counts towards your daily water intake. Another thing to consider is ways that we can just kind of boost our mood naturally, too. The scent of lemon, orange, and grapefruit can boost your body's production of serotonin, a hormone that makes us feel happy. In addition, it reduces the levels of stress hormones, making you feel energized and calm. Lemon might be the most powerful, and research shows that taking in the smell of lemons can increase mental stimulation. So consider how you might incorporate the scent of citrus into your day. Maybe you sip warm lemon water or add a lemon wedge to whatever it is that you're drinking. Enjoy an orange or a grapefruit as a midday snack, or use some sort of citrus scented, plug-in or spray within your room, or even dab essential oil on your wrist or use an essential oil diffuser focusing on the citrus scents. A citrus pick me up might just be what you need to feel alert and more awake through your day. Another way to take care of yourself is to take care of the space in which you're working in. So spend some time decluttering your workspace. Take about 10 minutes creating a clean, orderly, and inspirational workspace. Your space should be free from distraction, with essential items within reach. And here's a few ideas to help get you started. So disinfect and wipe down your desk, your keyboard, and any other equipment you use regularly. Toss trash, recycle papers, return anything that was borrowed, and remove anything that doesn't belong at your desk or workplace. Tame your cables. So bundle certain items together, get them out of the way so you're not kind of feeling all caught up within them. And consider what's missing. What would make your space more productive, organized, or efficient? And add a little personality to your workspace. What items would make you happy or inspired? Consider photos of your family and friends, colorful artwork, a snack jar, or even plants. But find ways to make your workspace someplace that feels comfortable and soothing to you. Let's move now into more intentional mindful practice. Um, I have 4 different activities that I want to wrap up this focus on self compassion on, several of which again come from the anti burnout card deck. But I want to start with the first one called Name It. And this is simply as recognizing our emotions, but finding ways that we do not give them power over us. At any given time in our day, we will experience a range of emotions. Emotions come and go as they are energy in motion. It's been said that an emotion lasts an average of about 90 seconds. It's the moments when we experience emotions that are higher or lower than our average emotional state that can knock us off center. Get into the habit of noticing your emotions as they arise. Today and throughout this week, when you experience stress, anxiety, disappointment, the feeling of failure, or any other difficult or challenging emotion that rises during the workday, name it. By naming a difficult emotion, we can relate it to something as we are experiencing rather than something that we are. So, for example, we would say, I am feeling anxious rather than I am anxious. Or I notice that I am feeling anxious rather than I am anxious. This provides us with space to pause, take a breath, and make a choice to respond rather than simply reacting. Our next activity is a fistful of impermanence. And this again is focusing on our emotions and comes from the anti-burnout card deck. We all grip our thoughts and emotions too tightly from time to time, particularly in stressful moments in our work. Here, you can take the intensity of your work, observe it, and slowly open it to its impermanence. So let's begin by taking a few deep breaths. Feel your presence and calm in the place you're sitting. When you're ready, close your eyes and focus your intention on the sensations of either hand. Ball your hand into a fist and hold it as tightly as you can for several seconds. Release your hand. Repeat this process a few times and notice the difference between the feelings of tension and release. Now allow your hand to lie open in your lap. Notice the sensations showing up here. Don't just think about your hand. Instead, really sense the pulsing, the tingling, burning, itching, whatever is present in this moment. Notice how all these experiences come, go, and change on their own. Recognize that your hand can hold whatever sensations show up. So can you. When the stress of a moment shows up, you can simply hold it gently and recognize that it will come and go on its own. Our last two mindful exercises for today also come from the anti-burnout card deck, and these focus on the concept of suffering and really recognizing that as we need to focus in on our own self-compassion, we also need to be able to do that by connecting towards the suffering of others. And what this really means is understanding that as we are connecting towards others and as we're working with our clients, we are taking on some of their suffering, or we may be even experiencing some of that ourselves within the moment. So being able to bring awareness towards being compassionate towards ourselves as we are being compassionate towards our clients. So the first one is called receiving the message. Suffering can seem so senseless and destructive to self and others. And yet, if we're willing to look deeply, we can discern the messages behind the suffering of our clients and ourselves. So bring to mind right now in this moment a particular client. Consider the message of suffering behind every maladaptive or symptomatic behavior for your client. Breathe in and allow your client's suffering to come in and down towards the warmth of your own heart. Breathe out and allow that warmth to project out towards your client, whether they are in your presence or not. Continue breathing in this way, noticing what happens to your heart as it regards this client. Consider finding a way for the client to know that you have received this message. Now, this is an activity that you can do before or after your client may be present. It could be done even maybe in the moment with the client as you're processing kind of your own response towards their suffering as they're showing, or whatever symptoms that they're showing in that moment. But again, taking the opportunity to receive the messages that the clients are giving us through their behaviors, and also paying attention to the messages that we're receiving ourselves as we're taking in that energy. Our last activity, connecting with the suffering of another. So like any tool, our empathy can become fatigued with overuse and needs replenishing. So allow yourself to settle using the anchor of breath, sounds, or body. Bring awareness to your own experience of pain, either physical or emotional. Don't try to make it go away. And see if you can lean into the experience of feelings in the body. If a strong feeling arises, anger, grief, sadness, notice this with warmth and compassion. Take a few deep breaths and soften around the pain or suffering. Note if there is any resistance in your body or mind, and if it too can soften. Know that there are many others with the same pain and suffering. Allow compassion to arise for yourself and others who are in similar pain, and rest in this compassion. If a wish to ease suffering arises, say to yourself, "May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings know peace," or other similar phrases that have meaning to you. Open to a state of oneness and spaciousness, letting thoughts and feelings arise and dissolve like clouds in an open sky. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring your thoughts back to your anchor. Allow your body to continue to just settle and be present in this moment. Take a deep breath if you need to. And once again, remember that you can come back to these exercises at any point in time that you may need to offer yourself compassion, or again, to be able to replenish the sense of empathy as you're dealing with the suffering of others throughout your workday. Once again, I hope that you found these activities and information useful. I hope that they are things that you can incorporate throughout your week. I encourage you to find maybe one or two out of what we talked about today and give them a chance throughout this week and see if it makes any difference for you. Until next time, take care of yourselves, be compassionate towards yourselves, focus on your self-care, and continue to do the amazing work that you do every single day. I'll see you next week.